Cool. Hi, and welcome back to the Jen and Sean Show. I'm Sean.
I'm Jen.
And we're taking you through our experiences as we go around Melbourne, interstate, sometimes overseas, and give you our insights as to whether it's worth your time. And this time we went to the Yarra Valley here in Melbourne. The wine and food bowl that is a must-see if you're actually here in Melbourne. So we're going to take you through what we did over our weekend away, and also some tips on how you can actually save some money as you go through. So you don't have to go through there with wads of cash flying in a helicopter.
That would be cool, though. I mean, if you want to.
If you want to, you can certainly do that.
Great. Be
but
awesome.
We did not do that.
We did not do that.
We did do a few extravagant things, but on retrospect, there's a few ways that you could definitely do on a budget. Yeah. So we're here today to take you through what we did.
Yes.
So the weekend was a surprise for Jen as part of her birthday, and she had no idea where we were going, what we were doing, and where we were staying. I'll set the scene. I booked a Airbnb tiny house? Tiny home. Just outside of Healesville. So that saved me a little bit of cash, but we'd also been intrigued with tiny homes on TV and we'd really sort of soaked that up. So I was keen to experience that. This particular one, as I said, was a couple of minute drive out of Healesville, but it was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was lovely. Really, really nice. It was just off to the side, like they've obviously built this on their property, and it was off the main road. Like it was really, really nice. It was so picturesque with the trees and local wildlife, and
we had goats, cats, kookaburras,
yes,
all sorts of wildlife that was floating around, leaving their droppings as well, which was interesting.
Right.
But the weather was up and down. It was humid. It was rainy. But the tiny home withstood it all. It had a beautiful deck with some chairs on it, which you could overlook the paddocks and the goats wandering around doing their goaty things. But it was beautiful just looking at all the trees and the serenity. There was no noise. There was no bother.
Very peaceful.
It was so peaceful. The location meant that we were able to really just duck into Healesville, which was a little town really in the heart of the Yarra Valley.
We could have walked in if we wanted to.
The weather was a bit off and against us, so I decided not to do that. I don't think we walked one, but we could have absolutely done that. The first night, Friday night, I did a bit of research about where we would go for dinner, and we ended up going to a restaurant called The Herd. What did you think?
Loved it. I was a little nervous at first when I saw the word fusion, because I don't know. I haven't. Yeah, I'm usually not a fan of fusion. The couple that we've been to in the city haven't done it well.
No, they're fairly ordinary.
It was very
Their
confusing.
reputation was much bigger than
Yeah.
what was actually delivered. But this one delivered.
Yeah, and not a sprig of coriander in sight, which was lovely.
Not at all. The meals were really reasonable. The Herd gives an impression that it's all about beef and meat. It wasn't. It definitely had some steak dishes, but I had a lamb curry, which was amazing.
And I had the Thai beef noodle salad, I think.
You did.
It was really, really good. And apparently that is the owner, who is also, I believe, the chef, his specialty.
And the staff were amazing, really super helpful. We did indulge in some wine, but if you're trying to save some money, probably wouldn't be buying bottles of wine when you're out and about. But the meals themselves were pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
They were probably a tick over $20 per main. The place was packed. The ambience was brilliant. And thoroughly recommend that particular establishment. From there, it was really just going back to the tiny home, and planned for the next day. The Saturday started like raining, I think, and it was kind of like, what are we going to do here? So we decided to seek out some breakfast. No lack of options.
Oh, heaps. For a small town, Lots and lots of cafes.
It was bananas, actually. And they all had good coffee, no doubt about that. But we were trying to find somewhere that was local, not just had been set up in the last 5 years as a bit of a tourist trap. And where did we find?
Willow and Jackson on the main drag. Very unassuming as you walk past it, but massive, big area. And did it used to be? Was it a bakery?
Used to be a bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've refitted it out. But really, really nice. A lot of character. And it just had a really nice, warm, welcoming kind of vibe when you walked in, which was great.
Yeah, it really was. And the staff was super helpful, even to the fact that I ordered some items off the menu and they said, well, if you combine it with this, it'll be cheaper for you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected that at all, but they were so nice and real locals. It was family friendly, lots of sort of kids set up stuff there as well.
Yeah.
But there were no screaming kids because they were quite happy just doing their thing.
Yeah.
So it was really, really good. The cost of it, again, was really reasonable. It was
Food
pretty
was
busy.
delicious.
Yeah, we kind of got there mid-late morning.
Yeah.
So people were filing out. So it wasn't overly busy, which was really good. But the food was amazing, as you'd expect. So from there, we did a bit of a walk up and down the town. So it doesn't cost you anything to browse.
No.
You don't have to buy things along the way. You can browse and have a look. I found a Trojan helmet that I nearly bought. The lady said it was half price. I don't think I was going to get a lot of wear out of it, but I'm having a little bit of buyer's regret. But look, if you watch the video, you'll see what I mean. It was something that a nerd like me would really like.
Bit spectacular.
Yeah, it was spectacular. Yeah. You avoided buying shoes, which blew my mind.
I know.
So savings there again, people.
Yeah.
Just amazing. One other way you could save money like throughout your day is instead of buying food or if you're going to cafes and restaurants, you can absolutely pick up a hamper or some meats or some cheeses from a deli and just go and picnic. The day that we were there, it was bucketing with rain, so
probably
it wasn't
not great
really
for a picnic.
Wasn't really picnic material,
but
as such.
It was a nice day. The next day would have been perfect for it.
Perfect, absolutely stunning. So we found after a wander up and down the street, we sort of got an eye on what else Healesville had to offer and scouted out a few places what we might do for dinner that night. I had my eye on, going to the local hotel because they had a live band playing. So I had that in my back pocket. But what did we do during the day after breakfast?
We went for a drive out to Marysville, which is like the next little town further up the road, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what direction. I'm hopeless with directions.
I'm going to say,
north. North, anyway.
Yeah, maybe northeast, I'll probably say.
And there was a mountain biking event or some sort of cycling event.
Yeah, they
day.
were coming down Lake Mountain. It was actually a road riders. They weren't mountain bikers, but that's okay.
Well, there was a guy on a penny farthing, so I think it was a little bit of everything.
No, that was Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, Saturday.
So it was the same event, though.
Oh, it was kind of like a weekend of cycling events that was going on.
There's a lot of lycra.
So, look, driving up the road doesn't cost you anything. It was the most stunning drive, that little section of road between Healesville and Marysville. It's like going into Jurassic Park. We did have to avoid a tree.
The tree over the road
that had fallen in the forest and then slid down the hill into one of the lanes, blocking it, and no one had been there yet. So kudos to all the drivers that were flashing their lights, so we didn't smash into it as we were driving through Jurassic Park. So that was pretty good. The wandering around Marysville, again, didn't cost you anything. Grab a coffee.
Didn't take very long.
No. No.
It's not very big.
There wasn't a lot there. We did a couple of laps, and that was pretty much about it. But we did find a nice cafe. What was that one called? Fraggers.
Sorry, let me just check my notes.
I'm sure it was Fragger.
Fraggers. However you pronounce that.
And we would have had a pretty economical coffee pick up there, except somebody decided to get some home-baked cookies.
Yeah. No regrets.
Budget blown.
Yeah,
look,
they were really expensive, but they were so good.
Yeah, we were eating them for quite a few days.
Yeah.
After that fact, and they were really yummy. Bit of a tourist trap, but sure, okay. If you want to save some cash, again, go to your local Aldi or other evil supermarkets. They will tick a few boxes and you'll save some coin. But the local fare, supporting local communities, so I can't really say anything bad about that.
Yeah, and the coffee was really nice.
It was really good.
And price-wise, on par with what you'd pay pretty much anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that was fine.
Yep. The next event that I'd lined up as a surprise for Jen was a massage and facial at the RACV One Spa Resort. Now, this is not a budget event, but I'd signalled it as my extravagant piece. So I was saving money elsewhere throughout the whole weekend, but this was a surprise piece for Jen, but I got to go as well, so yay me. The cost of that was a bit out there, but ultimately it was an amazing experience it was only an hour, but it felt like it went for a lot longer than that.
So good.
So on a rainy day, we were set up and it was just overlooking all the misty mountains and going through there. I did get a discount though by being an RACV member. I was able to book that online and saved, I think it was 10 to 15%.
They have a lot of good discounts.
By being a member. They do have some. I don't take advantage of it enough.
Well, I think movie tickets is something that they do through there as well.
They
theme
do.
park entry. I know RACQ used to do all of that stuff, but people generally just don't know about it.
No.
So maybe look into that.
Definitely check it out. I actually came across it because I was looking for accommodation, and sorry RACV, but you were pretty expensive for accommodation, but you did have the spa there, so we took advantage of that, which was really good. Put me in the good books for a couple of days afterwards.
We floated out of there. Yeah. That was so relaxing. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we took our freshly massaged bodies back through the rain. It was still pouring down with rain at this point, but we didn't really care. Back to our tiny home for a bit of a relax before getting ready and going into the hot spot of Healesville for our dinner and entertainment. With this, we found that there was a really reasonably priced and really highly rated wood-fired pizza cafe. Yeah. What was it called?
The Bodhi Tree.
The Bodhi Tree, man.
I'd seen it when we drove past during the day, and I actually thought that it was like a little hippie shop or something like that. I didn't realise that it was a restaurant until
I just keep thinking of Point Break, but sure.
I know. Yeah. But no, it was really, really cool.
Really good food. Honestly, it was really good on the wallet as well. Really fast. It wasn't a busy night, but we did have some really nice wine, Stone and Wood on tap. So that, again, hits the back pocket. I think if you're stuck with local beers, you do pretty well, because once we left there, we went for the Grand Hotel, which had a live band, which was free. Also, the local entertainment was also free that we were watching that. They'd been there probably since lunchtime, and by 10 o'clock, they were really cracking on. So that was a lot of fun.
Super entertaining.
Yeah. So local beers on tap, the usual, didn't sting you too badly at all. So we were able to have a pretty reasonable night in terms of the hip pocket from there. The night was really good. The band was excellent.
Yeah.
Some old rockers, and they were really kicking on.
That was great, yeah.
So it was a really good night. So definitely check out the Grand Hotel. They do meals as well, so classic pub meals, which again would be cheaper than some of your, high-end restaurants that are there. The Bodhi Tree was really good. The local cafe also was great. Once we finished up there, we again meandered back to our little tiny home. For the night, we'd picked up some takeaway wines to have back there rather than kick on to save us, not intentionally to save us some cash, but it was just nice to relax and chill there, which then took us to Sunday. Remember Sunday?
Yeah, I do. I'm just trying to think what we did on Sunday. Where did we go?
Sunday was wine day.
Sunday was wine day, and we started at, we went because we'd heard about the Beechworth Bakery. So we thought, we'll do that for breakfast. Really good. Really good. Again, pretty reasonable.
I do rate the Beechworth Bakery there. It's really popular, but they're able to, push you through pretty quickly. But it's not completely over the top.
No.
Like when you're looking at some of their specialty pies, like the Ned Kelly, which I had, full egg, bacon, cheese, mince. Oh, so good. It wasn't, I don't think it was definitely wasn't more than $10. I don't think.
No, I think they're about
8.
maybe that one was 8. I think mine was 6.
Yeah. So it was a pretty good price, ultimately, for that food. It is bakery food, so it fills you up, very moreish. Again, a really good coffee once they located it.
Oh, our buzzer didn't go off when they give you the buzzery thing, and they're like, it'll beep, and we were sort of waiting.
Lonely coffee sitting on the bench for us.
We'd finished eating, going, where's our coffee? And yeah, our buzzer didn't buzz, so.
No, but that's okay. So the wineries, we could have gone a couple of different ways. You could book a tour. You could even leave from Melbourne to go on a tour. You could probably jump on a tour from Healesville. I couldn't find one, but maybe I wasn't looking in the right place.
They may not do them up there because it's so
close
to home.
It's their backyard.
Yeah.
Yep. The wine tours typically that I was able to research cost a couple of $100 really for the day. If you're going to go out, they still charge you for the wine tastings, obviously what you're going to buy from, bottle wise, and then if you're taking or buying food as well, that's all on top as well. So you'd run into quite an expense. So my idea, or the idea that we had, was really let's map out some wineries. We didn't go crazy, but there was a local map that had them all sort of laid out. We knew there was one just up the road from our tiny home, so we thought we'd check that out and then just play it by ear. But because it's all so close together, we were able to hit 4 to 5 wineries by taking our own car, driving around, being a responsible driver, not overindulging there. No. But by being able to do that, we were able to go through 4 or 5 wineries in a short amount of time. What was the first one we hit up?
Boat O'Crago.
What time in the morning was it when we turned up?
Was it 11? Well, we checked out at 10, so we would have gone and had breakfast. I reckon it was close to 11.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we were probably the first people through the door.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
And they were a bit surprised to see somebody rocking up ready for the day. But all the wineries do wine tastings. And not all are created equal, I will say that, in terms of wineries and their service.
No. They generally have like a set tasting menu, though, where they'll go through and they list off 5 or 6 different wines that they're going to give you a sample of. Most of the ones that we had, though, swapped a couple out for us and gave us like the bougie ones to try.
You get talking to them and they're more than happy to give you an extra here or there. And the samples are just that, the small samples, but they're only $10 to $15.
Yeah, but you're not sort of sculling it or drinking it by the bucket. You just wanted to get the flavours through and have the experience of it. So I think it's pretty good.
Exactly. And some of them will also waive the wine tasting fee if you end up buying one of their bottles. So you can save yourself $10 or $15 just off the back of that as well. And if you're being even a little bit tighter or money conscious, you can also bring your own food, have a picnic in some of these grounds because they are gorgeous.
Oh, they're stunning. Just so beautiful.
Dreamscapes. Some of them had art installations in there, and
that's right, they did too.
All of them have dams and then wildlife around as well, and you get talking to them and they're really friendly. But within 15 minutes or even less, we were able to 15 minutes away from each winery. We were able to hit up, I think, 5 wineries at the end of the day, which you wouldn't even do 5 wineries on a tour.
No. Normally it's 4.
Yeah. And that meant that we were able to just enjoy ourselves, go where we wanted to go. We went exploring a little bit off-road.
Took our time.
Yeah, and we really took our time. And I think that was a real benefit of what we're able to do ourselves. So if you've got a car...
And a driver,
a responsible driver, then you can really get the best out of it and, save some money, but also, maybe buy a couple of bottles of red with the money that you've saved.
Okay.
Or white, if that's your jam. What else can we say? The tiny home that we stayed in was the Watt River?
Watt River Tiny, I think it's
called.
called.
Watt River Tiny. The hosts were Anita, Really lovely. Not sponsoring us or anything like that, but it was
Just a recommendation.
It was just a recommendation. It was such a lovely little spot. The herd was great.
That was
the staff
fabulous.
were really, really lovely. I love that. Healesville itself is really quite a cool town.
Yeah.
It's big enough to have enough variety in there. So if you do have no budget, then you can, certainly get through that. But if you're spending hand over fist, then you can do that as well.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we were able to go through there. Some things on a budget, some things that we budgeted for. But overall, how did you rate it?
It was great. Loved it. Yep. Had a great time. Wonderful birthday.
Yes, there you go. So here's a recommendation by Jen, which is great. I think when we go back again, we'd do something very similar. It just was great to do it as a couple. You can do it as a group for sure, and have bigger, accommodations and that sort of stuff. Marysville would be nice, but it is a little bit smaller. But going up in the shoulder of major holidays as well meant that it wasn't too busy. We were able to go into the wineries. There weren't a lot of people in there.
No, it was really
so
good.
It was really helpful for us to go in there and just take our time, which was great. So that's really it for today. If you've got any tips for saving in the Yarra Valley or want to hear more budget-friendly travel ideas, let us know. I think ultimately what you can do in your own backyard here in Melbourne is fabulous. So we're looking forward to doing more of that. So thanks for listening, and until next time, happy travels.
See you later.